Welcome, 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 welcome. If you could, oh, wonderful. Cheryl, thank you. I love to see people show their camera. So I feel like I have someone I'm talking to. Now, oh, Adam, thank you. I appreciate it. Those of you that are with us and when you get the most out of this, my request is that you do turn your cameras on so we can see each other. Stan, welcome. It's good to see you. There's a guy lurking behind you, Stan. And now he's moving. He's moving in and out of a hallway.
He is. He's hiding now.
Yeah, it makes me nervous. I'd be watching that. Keep him on the camera, man. I don't know. He's kind of lurking behind you. He's just peeking around the corner. That's a dangerous looking character, man.
You're looking dangerous. I'll be right back, though. Thank you.
All right. Great. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. So if you could, would love to see some smiling or at least frowny faces, I guess, because it's the end of the day. Some of you have had a long work day ahead of you, and you're welcome. I mean, we're welcoming you to join our 30-minute intense webinar on Am I a Referable Lawyer? And I just want to check in. We sent an email out to all of you about an hour before to encourage you, if you could, to download this worksheet. Now, if you don't have the worksheet, don't panic. We're going to post it right now in the chat box. It's a fillable PDF. You can either print it out and write on it, which is what I usually do because I'm really, really slow on the keyboard. Or if you're fast on the keyboard, you can type it out, whatever works for you. Those of you that are driving, those of you that are doing other things, obviously that's going to be a little bit of a challenge for you. But if you're with me, I'm going to encourage you to do this, and we'll have some homework perhaps around this worksheet. Some of you may have worked on the worksheet in advance, but we'll talk about this because this whole workshop is about how to get more clients, and the key is good clients. So first, let me introduce myself. My name is Steve Riley. I'm an attorney first and foremost, and I've done plaintiff's work for about 12 years. I've done estate planning and elder law for another 10 to 12 years. I sold my practice in 2010 and joined Atticus and am a partner here at Atticus. And we're really about helping lawyers grow their practices and have a great practice and a great life. That's really what we're about. But at the end of the day, why it's so great to be here is I loathed building a referral practice when I started my practice. And I now love it as a master strategy for getting great clients and great cases. So this is a topic that I know backwards and forwards, and I love, 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 love it. And it's really a fabulous way because it's cost effective and it can make such a huge difference. So my whole intention behind today's conversation is to help you get more great clients. That's it. And the key word is great. And a lot of lawyers, when we first start a practice, will do pay the rent law, where we just take about any old darn thing that comes in the door, and they may not be great cases. They're marginally good cases. But over time, if you can upgrade your referral sources, upgrade your intake process, and upgrade how you prospect and market and ask for good business, you can actually get some fabulous cases. And there's two things that will wreck your practice: bad staff and bad clients. So getting a process to get great clients in the door pays for the great staff. So as we work through this, I just want to kind of set the stage. If you're looking to grow your practice, you have to have two remarkable skills that, if you marry together well, produce a profitable practice. The first is having good legal skills. Now, we don't help lawyers improve their legal skills. What we work with lawyers on is improving their business skills. And today is a huge conversation, or a quick conversation, on how to improve your business skills. And usually there's 4 critical business skills to grow your practice. Number 1 is your ability to sharpen your time management and focus, learning how to be more precise and focused as an attorney / business owner. Number 2 is attracting high value cases. How do you get great cases in the door? Number 3 is building a great team. And for a lot of lawyers, they don't quite figure this one out till they break about 6 to 8 staff. Around 6 staff, then they start going, oh my goodness, I really need to get better at finding and recruiting people. And then 4 is increasing cash flow and profit. So today's conversation really kind of falls directly under sharpen your focus and attracting and bringing in high value cases. So that's really where we're at today. So if this was a live workshop, I would actually say a live workshop, if I had the time, I would ask you why you want referred cases. So if you're with me, this is typically the reasons that I hear from other lawyers and myself why I want referred cases, because usually my value per case is higher, meaning that my revenue per case, what I get per case, is usually higher. Two, my acquisition costs, my marketing advertising costs go down over time. So if I develop a great referral source, then that referral source, basically my cost of acquisition increase. Three, there's less sales involved, and I'll talk a little bit more about in a second, because your prospect's a little pre-sold. Someone said good things about you. If you get some good referral sources, when I start my practice, my goal was 10. Well, I got 10 good referral sources and I went for 100. Then when I went for 100, I went for 1,000. And then when I broke 1,000 great referral sources, my goal was 2,000. So I kept doubling my great referral sources. Not people I knew, by the way. I knew a lot of people, but for me, I was really looking for high caliber referral sources that would send me great prospects. So I kept improving over time. And over a period of time, those relationships, I like to call it a referral portfolio. Over time, those relationships provided an endless stream of great cases as long as I took care of them. And it puts you in a master position. It makes you like a dominant player in your marketplace if you build up a big referral base, and price and fees are less of an issue because people are referring to you because of the caliber of a lawyer you are, the caliber of business experience you create, and pricing, while it's always an issue, doesn't become the issue. And my favorite thing is you get 3 rebuttable presumptions. How many of you are trial lawyers? So, if you are a trial lawyer, you do litigation, you'll understand this, but a rebuttable presumption is something that is proven to be true unless you rebut it. And these are the 3 that you get in the referral practice. And I have to tell you, I watch lawyers rebut these all the time. So it's amazing to watch lawyers just kind of blow these, but these are the 3. 1, you're honest. So you're honest, and the clients and prospects give you the presumption of being honest. 2, you're fair. And 3, you're competent. Now, they're going to give you these 3 presumptions, and what you have to do in your intake process and in your initial meeting is make sure you don't rebut those presumptions. And I've made a list of about 100 ways I've seen lawyers rebut the presumptions. I'll give you one simple one so you can understand this pretty quickly. One, a way of saying that you're not going to be fair is being late to a meeting. So if you're meeting with a prospect, being late to a meeting with a prospect is not a sign of fairness. It's not a sign of respect. So you can actually rebut the presumption of being fair. So there's probably 100 ways that you can rebut these presumptions, but whenever I teach lawyers about referral marketing, I usually say you have to pay attention that they're giving you 3 ways. They're giving you credit, 3 rebuttable presumptions, and you have to do everything you can to make sure those presumptions are not rebutted in your intake process, okay? Now today, we're just going to skim the surface of a very, very deep pool. And the deep pool really has everything to do with thinking proactively about building a referral base versus reactive on building a referral base. A lot of lawyers are delighted to take referrals, but they don't proactively grow and cultivate referral sources. Really, and that's really what we want to talk to you about and really want to teach you to think about. 2, understanding what a referable lawyer looks like. And most of you have referred work to other professionals, and sometimes your clients are treated well, sometimes you're not treated well. And so one of the classic mistakes I've seen for me personally is I used to refer work out to a lot of family law lawyers. And 2 ways to guarantee that I would never refer work to another family law lawyer again is, number 1, never thanking me and never saying thanks for the referral or thanks for the case. Number 2 is referring my client to another lawyer, meaning that I referred them to the family law lawyer and I was an estate planning attorney, and then you referred them to another estate planning attorney after the divorce was done. So that was almost a guarantee that I would never refer you another case. So understanding that this is a long-term game and really learning how to be referable. And a lot of this has to do sometimes with your demographic and psychographic of your clients. Usually in personal injury, the client is looking for power. They're looking for someone to help them, and they look for power and images of power. In estate planning and demographic, depending on the age of the client, they might be looking for like a Perry Mason type figure. So you may want to be in a suit and a tie when you meet with them. So you have to pay attention to what a psychographic and demographic is in this particular area. In the tech world, you might be showing up in khakis and a polo shirt, or jeans and a t-shirt, or sneakers and shorts. Who knows in that particular world? But you have to think about the psychographic and demographic of the referral sources and the clients, or potential clients. And you want to appreciate that at the end of the game, this is a game. It's a long-term game. And part of the long-term game is realizing it's a two-way street. Not only are people going to develop relationships with you and refer you work, but you're also going to look for referring work out. And you're going to look for people that are critical to you to help you with the growth of your practice, collaborative partners that will help you in other areas of the law or other areas of professional expertise that you don't have. So as you start to expand your referral base, you'll start to expand actually your capabilities, because you'll have other people on your phone, so to speak, or on your Rolodex, using an older term, to help you with certain problems that your clients will come across. 2, you'll have situations where you won't give them business, but you'll help them out. You may do an introduction. You may find a problem that they have. And 3, you'll look out for introductions for them. So you'll realize that they're looking for someone or looking out for something. If you have your antenna up for this particular issue, you can actually help your referral colleagues out or your contacts out. So when you start to do this, you start to shift your thinking and you start to shift your mindset. The biggest mistake I think a lot of lawyers think about is they just see this as a one-way relationship build. Just give me great cases because I'm a good lawyer. And generally speaking, that won't work. Generally speaking, you want to understand that this is a mutual relationship. The referral sources, whether the professional referral sources or clients, are going to send you work because they like you, they respect you, and they trust you. So it's usually going to be a like, respect, trust model, not necessarily an academic model that you're a brilliant lawyer. That is actually going to be presumed. That's the third presumption I mentioned early. They presume that you're competent. The fact that you actually have a law degree most of the time gives you the presumption. Your job is not to say anything to rebut that presumption on the competency level on the marketing and prospecting. So if these things are true, why don't we as lawyers invest time in this? Why don't we do this? And it really seems to boil down to number one is being that we're time starved. We just don't have the time. We just don't have the time. You don't know what to do. So 2 is skills. I don't know how to do it. When I first started doing referral-based marketing, I just didn't think I had the personality for it. 3, it's not easy and can be very uncomfortable. This was terrifying for me when I first learned how to do referral-based marketing. It scared the fool out of me. I just was terrified to do it. 4, I'm not sure what to say and how to ask for business. And these are skills. These are not things that you innately learn. It's no different than arguing a motion, going to court, drafting something. It is a skill, and it's something that can be taught. The next one is we don't want to be perceived as a salesperson. We're very worried that we'll be perceived as a salesperson. And we don't want to look desperate, like we need the business. The last thing we want to do is look desperate. So my goal today is really to give you 3 strategies to consider. Strategy 1, understanding that the core of a referral-based practice is a referral process. It's a process. So it's not a momentary act, it's a process. And this is the process that we've developed in our company, Atticus. It seemed to work very, very well for the past 20 plus years in teaching lawyers how to build a referral-based practice. Number 1, you got to be clear who to talk to. Now, under who to talk to, you may have everything from financial professionals, CPAs, other lawyers are fabulous. It could be everything from clients, past clients. There's so many people that you can talk to depending on your type of practice. In the elder law field, it may be social medical resources. It may be, other financial resources, long-term care agents. There's so many places that you can determine who you need to talk to build a practice or to build great referrals. 2 is what to say. And this is a little tricky. You have to learn how to say things in a way that are ethical, appropriate, respectful, and are relationship building. 3 is how and when to say it. It's a timing, it's like a well-delivered joke or a well-delivered closing. You don't want to blow your punchline. You want to be thinking about, when do I make my ask? How do I make my ask? The other thing is tracking. One of the most important things that I learned when I was doing this, while I had some friends that I thought referred me business, they actually didn't. And I spent a lot of time with them. When I actually started tracking where I was getting my business and tracking my business on a weekly or monthly basis, I realized that there were some really busy professionals that were sending me work. I need to pay greater attention to them and quit hanging out with my friends, expecting them to send me business, because they weren't sending me business. I could talk to them why they weren't sending me business, but they were too busy messing around doing stuff. They weren't actually building their practices. And then accountability. So for me, accountability is critical, because you have to have someone holding you accountable, and you have to have some kind of accountability process where you're having follow-up and you're learning how to improve this. So when you look at developing a referral process, it's more than just asking for business. It's understanding that there's a whole strategic element to thinking it through. Now, you're going to get a copy of these slides. You're going to get a video of this presentation. You don't, quote, necessarily need to hire us, but I'm going to recommend that if you're going to start a process, this is a darn good one to use as a model to look at. The second strategy is probably the most awkward one to talk about, because a lot of lawyers don't like this. They're terrified by it. And that's how to develop and practice and ask for business. Now, I'm going to give you an example of a horrible ask for business, a horrible, just horrid ask for business. And I've been asked this way like 20, 30, maybe 40 times. And it's such a horrible ask. It blows my mind. And then I'll give you an example of a good ask. Now, when I was practicing, I developed 20 different ways to ask for business. And so I scripted them, I practiced them. I would practice them just like I would a closing argument. I would practice them so I felt comfortable delivering them. And so here's the bad one. And any of you have ever seen or dealt with a Northwestern insurance agent may recognize this one. If you're a Northwestern insurance life insurance agent, you might recognize this one. So here it comes. This is an ask for business. It's awful. It's horrid. I hate it. Okay. One of the ways I get paid is if you introduce me to your friends and family. So if you could give a list of your friends and families that might need my services, that would be great. And then I'll call them and sell them life insurance. Oh my God, I just want to throw up in the trash every time someone does that. I'm just like, that is the most horrible ask for referrals I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm sure there's some other ones, but that's a professional salesperson that's doing that ask. It's horrible. So I'm going to flip it. So in my practice, this ask would be known as the honored ask, right? So I taught my associates, I taught my team this ask. So this is the honored ask. You guys ready? So Cheryl, if you're okay, it's okay if I use your name in this ask? Okay, great. So Cheryl, it's been a real pleasure and an honor representing you in this process. One of the things is that we're very picky about the people that we work with. We're very picky. I don't have a lot of time to deal with people that are jerks. I don't have a lot of time to deal with people that aren't good qualified clients. I don't have a lot of time for this stuff. And I just have to tell you, what a delight it was to work for you. What a delight it was to be of service to you. I was honored by having you as a client. If you have anyone that has a similar issue and they call my firm and use your name, I would be honored to work with them and honored to talk to them, because my experience working with you has been so wonderful that if someone calls with your name, I have complete confidence that they'll be a lot like you. You guys see the difference? And so I got about 20 different asks that I practiced and I taught other lawyers to do. I taught my associates to do, but that's an example of an ask. And the difference between that ask was it was about Cheryl. If you guys pay attention to it, that was about Cheryl, right? It was about Cheryl and my relationship with Cheryl and me appreciating and acknowledging and thanking Cheryl for being a wonderful client. And Cheryl, thanks for letting me use you as an example for that too. I appreciate that. Thank you. And so understanding that your ask and how you make an ask and practicing an ask is really important. So if you're going to ask for business from another lawyer a financial professional, or even from clients, I want you to think about how you're going to do it in a way that's consistent with your ethics, consistent with your personal values, authentically you, and one that makes them the hero of the ask, not you. And so I see a lot of lawyers say, I'm a brilliant lawyer, you should send me work. No one's going to do that if you lead with that. But if you make them the hero inside of the ask, then you're positioning yourself very powerfully in their mind because you realize that they're important. All right. So strategy 2 is developing your ask. Strategy 3 is I could spend a day on this one, like literally a day talking about this one, but I'm going to hit some highlights. Strategy 3 is being ready for referrals. And my experience is a lot of lawyers, when they start doing referral-based marketing, haven't thought through how does the prospect show up in their practice, and how does the prospect interact with their practice. And that could be everything from what the website looks like to what your photo looks like on the website to how your phone is answered. And is there friction between you and the prospect interacting with your firm? What are the obstacles that we make them climb over to become a client in our firm? Two of the most obvious obstacles that I see all the time with lawyers in this day and age, there's actually 3. Number 1 is an automated voicemail system. So if you're a new client, press 1. If you're an old client, press 2. If you need to talk to this person, press this, press that, blah, blah. Depending on your type of practice and it's an urgent case, like they need some help in the next 12 to 24 hours, once they go into the voicemail, they're on to the next lead or they're Googling, all right? So thinking about if you're trying to build a referral-based practice, do you have a separate number that might be a expedited number, that gets quicker attention? 2 is how the phone is answered if you don't have it automated, all right? And there's a famous story in our practice, in our community, that is called, I'll just do the story for you real quick. I called a law firm in Texas. They hired me. They spent a stupid amount of money with me so I could help them diagnose their marketing problem. I called the firm with an appointed time to talk to the managing attorney. Are you guys ready for this? This is how the phone was answered. Law office. And I was like, oh, dear Lord. Hi, my name is Steve Riley. I've got a call with managing attorney. What do you want? Well, I just said I called and I've got this appointment with this managing attorney. Does he know what it's about? Well, yeah, because he paid for me to talk to him, so he kind of knows what it's about. Okay. The lawyer gets on the phone with me and he's the happiest go luckiest guy. I'm so happy to talk to you. I can't wait to talk to you. I said, okay, great. You've hired me to talk about your firm's marketing. Talk to me. Because, well, we're spending money on seminars. We're spending money on, Facebook ads. We're spending money on LinkedIn ads, but our conversions are terrible. We're not getting a lot of leads coming in for appointments. And I'm like, who answered the phone? He goes, well, that's Marge. I said, I think I'm onto something. I think I figured out your problem. And the first thing that we did was move Marge away from the phone and put someone who answered the phone with a smile on their voice, and all the numbers fell in line. So, in his case, Marge was an adopted employee, not a managed employee. He loved Marge. He'd worked there for 25 years. He didn't know what to do with her. So they had her answer the phone, which was the worst place to put her. Does your team know what a great prospect and what a great referral looks like? I was working with a fantastic med-mal lawyer who has a team of 12 people, a couple associate attorneys. And I asked him, what's a great case look like? And what's a bad case look like? Now, this lawyer is spending 20 hours a week pre-sorting prospects. Terrible use of his time. Terrible use of his time. And so we had to start breaking down what a great case looks like and what a bad case looks like, so we can start organizing what the intake process looks like, so we can not have this lawyer talk to no thank you cases. If it's a no thank you, we don't want our lawyer pre-qualifying or pre-screening. That has to be done by somebody else. But we can't do it in a way that's negative. We have to do it in a way that's respectful to the referral sources. So when you start looking at growing your practice from a referral base, one of the things you have to look at is, are we ready? Can I do this? And part of that also includes how you think, what's your mindset. So this is the reason we gave you this quick scorecard. Now, I'm going to give you two things here. I'm going to give you the blank scorecard, and then I'm going to give you my example. And Abby's going to post the example in the chat box so you can download it and use it. And I did it this morning, actually. And I did an authentic one based on where I'm at in my life and my career. And really what this is designed to do is have you just check in with your mindset. And on the left-hand side is, am I open to learning? Am I authentic and true to who I am as a human being at this point in time? Am I investing time in this? Do I know my referral process? Do I know and practice my ask? Do I know what a right fit client looks like? Do I know what a right fit referral source looks like? Do I look and act the part of the professional that the prospects and referral sources are looking for? And that's an important thing. And am I using manners? And I know this sounds crazy, but manners like please, thank you, following up, and doing what you say. Very simple manners, but a lot of lawyers have terrible manners when it comes to referral-based marketing. They just don't do thank yous. They don't do any follow-ups. They don't do, little simple things like saying please. So when you look at this, one of the things that will make you actually a strong competitive a strong competitor in the marketplace is just usually thinking through some of these basic things. And then what's your follow-up and tracking process? One of the ways that lawyers in most practices blow it is they don't have a strong follow-up with leads, and they don't have a strong follow-up with thank yous to the referral sources. And they're not tracking the prospects and not tracking where the leads come from. So what I'm going to suggest you do, and we're not going to do it today, but I'm going to suggest that you spend a few minutes to do this on your own. And if you want, on the call today, I have Denise Gamez, Denise Wave. There goes Denise. And I have Lori Pulvermacher, who's both fantastic parts of our team. They're coaches on our team. Denise is the head of our client services, and Lori is one of our practice advisors. If you want to talk to somebody after completing your score and you complete your scorecard and you want to do it in the next week, pop Abby an email at grow@atticusadvantage.com and say, I want to talk to somebody about my scorecard. And we'll set it up so you can have a 30-minute call with one of them and just talk through your scorecard. This is mine. Abby's posting it. And I did this myself this morning, and I wrote down, am I open to learning? And I gave myself a score of 5, because I'm like, I've been doing this for 25 years. Like, I built 2 practices based on referrals. But however, if I think about it, I need to probably open my mind a little bit and look at, are there deeper dives that I could do on the use of technology for referrals to eliminate any friction in my practice, Am I true to myself? Yeah, I kind of know what I'm doing. I'm comfortable at this point in time in my life with who I am. However, my wardrobe could use an upgrade. Denise has pointed this out once or twice. Time invested. Am I going to make time, to work on improving my skills? Actually, it's not too hard to do. I could pick up one book, a video, or a podcast to actually improve my referral process. Know my process. Do I know and practice my ask? I love the ask. It was something that scared me, but I love to make my asks. So when you do this, it'll take about 10 minutes, maybe 15. It took me 10 minutes this morning. And then write down your biggest insights. And for me, my biggest insight is old dogs can learn new tricks. 2, don't let complacency get in the way, basically. And 3, technology is a wonderful way of reducing friction, accelerating, getting people in the door. So it's a great way of educating, giving people information. It's a fabulous tool. It's something that I think we need to take full advantage of. So I'm going to encourage you to take this on. And I'm also going to give you the opportunity, if you want to do it. I'm going to, just because we're at 4:30, I'm going to stay on for 15 minutes to answer any questions that you have about referrals. I am going to give you the opportunity to also register for a workshop that we've been advertising and marketing, that next week on the 22nd is Am I a Referable Lawyer workshop. It's a 90-minute workshop. It's a $99 investment. And I'm working on 5 things. I'm going to teach you some strategies how to get cases immediately. I'm going to walk you through on a deeper dive with the referral process. I'm going to work with you on what to say and when to say it. I'm going to have you work on your ask so you're comfortable with your ask, or at least willing to do it. And you're going to leave the workshop with a 10-step action plan. And since you hung out with me this afternoon, I got a coupon code for you. If you want to take advantage of it, it's half off ref. So half off referral. So half off ref. If you want to go for it by all means. If you're like, nah, I really want to do a deeper dive, some of the ways that we can offer deeper dives is we have an upcoming practice growth program. That's a coaching program that we do. It's our premier coaching program for a lot of our clients. You can check that on the website, or we can get you more information on that. We have an upcoming workshop called Double Your Revenue, which does exactly that. It's a workshop on how to double your revenue. Denise is teaching that, right, Denise? Denise is phenomenal at that. She's doing the 9th, and I think I'm doing the 4th. I think Denise, I'm doing the 4th. But anyhow, and then the next workshop after that is raising the bar, which is really working on profit targets between now and the end of the year. So with that, I'm going to stop. Abby, did I miss anything? I'm just checking with you. Did I miss anything? Okay.
I don't think so.
We're right at 4. Okay, beautiful. So we're right at 4:30. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to see if there's any questions that anyone has that I can help them with their practice, or anything that Lori or Denise can add. They're more than willing to add. So I'm just going to check in and see if we got any questions or concerns. All right.
Could you
Wonderful.
share any of your scripts that you have, Steve? I'd love to see some of those so I could adapt them for myself.
Yes and no. So the scripts themselves only make sense in the context of the process. So I think I have some videos on YouTube. I'll have to look on some of the asks, but they only make sense in the context. So that's my only, and Lindsay, I think that was you. I think that's my only hesitancy of just giving you the ask scripts. But we also have a book called How Good Attorneys Become Great Rainmakers that also has some scripts in them that you can buy off the website that has more scripts. My hesitancy is just giving a cold script is that there's no context for it. Lori, I saw that you had unmuted. Something you want to add?
Well, just in the vein of scripts, a couple of things. When it comes to the hesitations that Steve shared about why you might be uncomfortable asking for referrals, most of those are scripts that we have in our head. Those are narratives that we tell ourselves. This is going to sound salesy. I don't know this person well enough to ask for this. This is too far of a reach, whatever it might be. Those are scripts that we have in our heads. When it comes to the scripts that you create, and so whether it's something that we give you is out of the book, like Steve mentioned, or something that you come up with, say them over and over and over again, because the more you adopt this as your own language and you make it your own, it's going to be more natural, because what you want it to be is conversational. What you don't want to do is the very first time you go to ask for a referral is for it to be the first time with a prospective client or an existing client, and try to finesse that at that time. So think about the scripts that you need to create to feel comfortable having these conversations.
Yeah, and that's perfect, because Lindsay, some of the scripts that I created were also designed for relationships that were really great that I had long term. So one of my favorite scripts was what was called the bored ask, B-O-R-E-D. I was bored. And so Lori, I'm gonna just play with you on this briefly. So I'd say, hey, Lori, I'd call, how you doing? What's going on? Chit chat a little bit. What's going on? Hey, thanks for that last case. I really appreciate it. Lori, I got a question for you.
Sure.
I just got to tell you, I'm bored out of my mind. I have nothing interesting to do. Do you have any interesting cases that we can work on together? Anything in your pipeline, or any clients, or anything that you got that would be fun to work on together? Because I'm just bored out of my mind. You got a good case for us to work on?
Well, now that you mention it.
Now you mention it. So you can take a lot of these requests and structure them. But Lindsay, the problem with that one is it's designed to have an existing relationship. So it presumes that there's a relatedness. So one of the most important things, and we'll talk about this more in the referable workshop, is to think through how to talk to people, to get to know them more. And in our process, we would call that a strategic interview, an interview process, like how to learn things and how to ask questions. And that opens up a lot of dialogue. So for example, for me, one of the referral sources I had on the estate planning side was a company called Charles Schwab, a big financial services company. And I had developed a relationship with some of their advisors. And what I discovered was how they were compensated was differently than obviously somebody at Merrill Lynch or someone, now I guess Bank of America, or one of the other financial services companies like Raymond James or Edward Jones. They're all compensated a little bit differently. Well, it may be in a sales role more or less, but their compensation structure is different. And understanding that and how to play with them on that was crucial, because at the time they were actually rewarded points under the comp system for completing estate plans. Now, what's fascinating about that is I asked how many times you refer out a case to a lawyer, and they confirmed that they did the plan. The guy goes, it never happens. Like, I refer work to lawyers all the time. I never get a thank you, and I never get a confirmation that the plan was completed. And I'm like, huh, really? Yeah. I said, try me. Just give me one case and see if I can do a better job than the other lawyers referring work to. And so the first time he sent me a case, I sent an email and a fax letter confirming that we got the case, we completed the case, and I thanked him for it. Simple, right? But he got a point towards his comp system. And after that, I started getting a flood of work from all of the Charles Schwab guys at the time and gals. And so it took us from maybe 1 or 2 cases a month, about 25 cases a month from that office. But it was understanding, and you get that from asking and learning about how they work and how their compensation structure work and what they're looking for in a referral partner. And that comes from questions. So I want to encourage you to come up with your scripts, like Lori said, but they're a script without the context of the script is like a joke without, it's like a punchline of a joke without the joke. You got to have the setup. So that's my concern. Any other questions before we wrap up for today? Cheryl, anything for you? You're quiet. No? Okay, good. Anyone else? All right. Lori, anything else for you? Denise, before we call it?
Good.
All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a wonderful time for the rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with us. I hope to see you at our next workshop, referral workshop. And with that, thank you very much. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Those examples were helpful, Steve.
Oh, thank you, Lindsay. I appreciate it.
I'm signing up for your workshop, so I'll see you next week.
Oh, that's very exciting. I'll help you out there, I promise.
Appreciate it. Looking forward to it.